Well, welcome back, guys, to another video. This stock right here, SoFi Technologies, has recently caught my attention at being a pretty undervalued stock for the type of innovative company that they are. So today we're going to be talking about SoFi Technologies, my price prediction, what I'm going to be doing with it, and why I believe in SoFi. My name's Adam, and as we can see, SoFi has been hit pretty hard lately. It's down 6% over the past 5 days, down 33% over the past month. In the 6-month chart, it's not doing any better. This was a SPAC play, but it's now listed on the NASDAQ under the ticker SoFi or SOFI. And mainly with all SPACs, it used to be with a $10 price tag. It's still up by about 50% since then, but it has had such a volatile ride. Okay, we see two bumps right here, and we're going to look at the technical results later. But basically, it reached a peak of about $28. That was its 52-week high before coming back down to $14, and then again around $25 before falling back down. So if you've held this stock throughout, I mean, you'd still be a winner. But recently, if you've held this stock recently, you would have been down by quite a bit. And I think that this is getting into buying territory very, very soon. And I really like what this company is doing. So let's talk about what that is. So basically, SoFi is your one-stop shop for everything related to financing. You get like student loans, for example, to refinancing car loans, to buying stocks and cryptocurrencies. So investing, it's also credit cards and insurance. So basically everything in one. When you think of a super or a mega app, I think of SoFi, and I think that this is the way that all the major banks will be going towards, basically having all your financial needs all in one app to make everything easier for everyone. Okay. And I mean, out of personal experience, I know that it is very hard to manage different accounts. And so if you have an app that offers everything under one account, from paying back your credit card to investing in stocks, I mean, that seems like a win. And they've had some tremendous growth, which I think means that a lot of people are enjoying the app and that it's a sticky business model. And if you look at what China is doing, so for example, Alibaba, I know that it's getting into the finance space with Ant Group. And so, it's sort of becoming a super app all on its own, right? So not only does it deliver products like Amazon, but it's getting into the cloud space, it's getting into the finance space, okay? And I think the same thing is sort of happening with SoFi. I highly recommend you check out their site. And I think that this is upending the way that banks will run long term. Of course, this is, a even decade process. But I think that more and more companies that will be successful in the bank space in the future will be companies like SoFi. All right, so super, super bullish. And I mean, just a look at their growth here. They've had 7 consecutive quarters of accelerating year-over-year growth from 704,000 members in Q1 of 2019. So Q1 of 2021, they had over 2.2 million members. And so recently, that's 110% year-over-year growth, which is incredibly impressive. Q4 2020, 90% year-over-year growth. So, I mean, I'm really, really liking those numbers. And this is also a SPAC that's backed by Chamath. I know that he has been getting a lot of heat recently, but at the end of the day, I do think he knows what he's doing. And I think that's another bullish point to add to the list of why you should be buying SoFi stock, is because, I mean, it is backed by one of the biggest venture capitals of our century. So that's SoFi in a nutshell. Right now, sitting at a 12 billion market cap, price to sales trailing 12 months is around a 20, which is relatively expensive. But when you look at the growth rate, which is 50% revenue growth year over year, they're expecting about 1 billion in revenue. That's a forward sales to price ratio of around 12, which is not that much considering that they're growing by 50% year over year. So yeah, 12 billion market cap. Of course, losing money. The 1-year target analysts' expectations is $27.50, which represents significant upside from here. Okay, this is a $15 chuck right now. And I mean, I think at these prices, a lot of people will pounce on the opportunity. It's just right now, overall, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. There's a lot of selling pressure in general, especially with these more retail trader stocks, which SoFi is one of them. They're also coming out with their quarterly report Thursday, August 12th. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And I mean, you should be dialing into this if you're an investor just to see what their growth numbers are, what their projections are, and what the leadership says on the company. So August 12th will be a big date for Q2 2021 results. And again, they're expecting about $1 billion full year in earnings there. So yeah, definitely check that out. And I mean, I think investors have nothing to be worried about here. Again, if you're looking at the sales growth, analysts for 2022 are projecting 51% revenue growth year over year in 2022. So current year average estimate is about, like I said, $1 billion for revenue. 2022, $1.49 billion in revenue. Again, 51% revenue growth. And I mean, this just solidifies of what I think the future is. I mean, in terms of financial technology, SoFi seems to be it. And they also have a rewards program right now to encourage people to sign up for their platform. And again, once you get into this, I think you're sort of stuck into it. And the only incumbent that I see being an issue is, of course, the traditional banks and something like an Apple Watch, right? Where now Apple is getting into the finance space where you can actually get a loan, buy now, pay later type of deal. And so as more and more companies tend to use their main product to attract customers to this sort of all-encompassing mega super app where you can do everything all in one, I think that, you know, Apple will definitely be a winner in that space, but so will SoFi. Okay, right now you can't trade stocks on the Apple platform or whatever that's owned by Apple. So I mean, I still think that, of course, there is a tremendous opportunity in this space for SoFi Technologies. And there's also talk that they're partnering with Square, but that's just speculation right now. So again, price to sales 21, a little bit high, but considering how much revenue growth they have, I think it's reasonable to have a 21 price to sales. But this is also still relatively low, I would say, when you're comparing it to the market in general. And if we're looking at the stock chart, right now, of course, you know, we've seen like this stock is incredibly volatile. Just a couple of weeks ago, middle of May, it was trading at around $14.60. Went all the way up here to $23. And again, I caution anyone buying in when you see that the stock goes above the Bollinger Band, the upper Bollinger Band. That's where you do not want to buy. So I usually use technicals to get into a stock. But if I'm in it for the long term, then the fundamentals are what gets me, okay? Facebook is riding near the upper Bollinger Band, but I'm not selling a single share just because I believe in the fundamentals so much. So yeah, and look what happened once it hit this Bollinger Band, or even this Bollinger Band where it was $20. The candle closed right above it. And I mean, you know, if you waited, you would have made some more money, but eventually it just fell off a cliff. And right now we're sitting at $15.60. And I like to buy a stock when it touches or goes below the lower Bollinger Band. So right now this would mean that it would have to reach around, you know, $14 and some change, or $13 to even be touching the lower Bollinger Band. And if it does that, then I will gladly pick up some shares. But I mean, overall, I think I'm being too greedy, and I think I should be picking up some shares now, just because you look at the RSI, it's at a 30. I mean, that's oversold. There's no way else to put it. And if you look at the histogram here, generally, it's still in negative territory. Basically, the MACD is below the signal, which indicates that there's still some downward pressure on the stock price. But once this histogram goes back up, and we can already see some green bars below the line here, this means that bullish territory is basically around the corner. So you might want to pick up some shares. I might pick up some shares now, pick up some shares if it drops down to around the 14 and change range. But I mean, right now the technicals are looking pretty good. It's been riding the lower band for some time, and I think it's bound for a rebound. So that's just my personal take. And I mean, you're looking at the NASDAQ in general. It's had a pretty volatile past couple of days with the Delta variant going around. There's a lot of concern that this will cause renewed lockdowns, etc. But I mean, now fears are gone and it's sort of bounced back. You also have to worry about inflation that will just eat away your money, eat away gains. And with inflation rising, that also tends to chomp down on the price of tech companies and even the S&P 500. Look at the S&P 500, pretty volatile. It's down over 1% over the past 5 days. And I mean, I would expect even more volatility as there's a lot of confusion in the market, not only with Roni cases, but with inflation data, with job reports data, all that into one, and also paring back stimulus. How can you pare back quantitative easing without completely crashing the economy? That's something that the markets are considering right now. And looking at other meme slash retail stocks, this was another SPAC stock that I actually own, Clover Health. I mean, it was up 0.6 today. So, I mean, doesn't really say too much, but I mean, over the past month, it's down 25%. Whew, like that's quite a bit. And again, such a volatile ride, and I expect there to be even more volatility as potentially there's another short squeeze that happens. CCIV stock, this is merging with Lucid. It's up 10% today. I think even, I mean, so it shows electric vehicle, high-end luxury manufacturer right here. AMC stock was up like 24% today. So, and a lot of people are saying that things going on with the dark pool and naked shorts, that's completely illegal, that this will shoot up the stock price even more. But yeah, I mean, so we'll just have to see what's going on. There's increased volatility in the markets, that's for sure. And overall, I do like SoFi Technologies. Let me know what you think, what their earnings report are for Q2. And thank you so much for checking out the video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content in the future, as well as check out the links, for example, to my Discord down below here. We talk about basically every stock and cryptocurrency out there, as well as if you want to support the channel, there's links to the private Patreon group and other ways to support the channel. So thank you so much. Take care. Love you all, and peace.